Hey guys, Heidi Easley here at Texas Art and Soul with another interview with Ginny. And I just want to say welcome. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
So we are going to be talking about the future of paint parties. You know, things have obviously rapidly changed in the paint party world, and we have seen many people pivot instead of just giving up and thinking, oh, this isn't going to work. We've seen lots of pivoting happen, and Ginny is one of those. So let us know, Ginny, where you are and kind of what has happened in the past few weeks that maybe has shown some new possibilities for you. And also let us know where you are on Facebook if people want to follow you.
Okay. I'm Art and Soul Studio in Jasper, Alabama. Gosh, I just forgot half the questions that you did.
I know, I asked a lot at once, so it's my bad.
It's okay. My ADD is like, oh, what?
So what's your Facebook so we can follow you, and then tell us how you have kind of transitioned during this time.
Okay, my Facebook is Art and Soul Studio, and I'm in Jasper. I think it's Art Soul Jasper is the for that, and then my Instagram is at my Art and Soul Studio. So that's where you can find me on the social network. Now, what was the other thing?
And then the other thing is how, because I know you have got some pretty big success with art kits. So how many have you sold? Maybe what price point you've sold them at, and what you kind of see. Like, start with that. We'll start with that. How many have you sold in the price point?
Okay. Well, we've sold well over 300, and our price point was $10 each. It included an 8x10 canvas, a flat canvas normally, but when I ran out of those, I had to go with the stretched. So it was just whatever I had. I put 4 to 5 colors of paint in there, a paintbrush, a napkin, and a small tablecloth. I took and cut up tablecloths and put a little tablecloth in my kit and stuff. But the main thing was, I have an after-school art class. Well, that was canceled. My other art classes were canceled. Paint parties, like all of my restaurant paint part, everything was just canceled. And I was like, okay, so we're going to be stuck at home with nothing to do. And my first thought was, those poor kids, they're going to be stuck at home with their parents with nothing to do. So I was like, okay, what is the cheapest way I can get some art in their hands? So, and that's when I was like, okay, this is what we'll do. And then I got my group at the studio, my friends, we got together and I'm like, okay, let's do this. So the first thing was one of the girls in the paint party headquarters had put up about art kits. And I was like, well, that's it right there. So I borrowed a couple of hers in the beginning, and then I started posting the ones that I had done in the group so people could share those too. So we could kind of not have to think about designs and everything else. We had things that, all the kids could enjoy. So it's been a great success. I'm still selling, it just depends. Like yesterday I sold 5. Today I think I've sold 2. But they're running through my website now, which has made things, instead of them just being able to go on Facebook and say, okay, I want this, and this, they're having to go through my website, which has made it a little bit trickier, but it's the only way I could really keep up with it. Because it was crazy the first 3 days trying to keep lists. You should see my paper list. It is insane. This is what my I don't know, you can't see that, can you? There you go.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, do it like right there. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. See my crazy list right there? It was like, okay, they picked them up, highlight. That's how it was crazy the first couple of days. So I had to come up with a system. And so I just put everything on the website instead of running it through Facebook, because that was hard.
Yeah, it's hard trying to keep up with it because, again, it's like, you have a studio, and in just a couple of days, you go from studio to, all of us, I've been doing this over 10 years, and it didn't mean that my parties didn't get canceled. Like, my parties got canceled just like the rest of everybody. And so it's so interesting to me to see the people that have been successful with this, because we didn't just go, oh, that didn't work, never going to happen. Like, we're creative, we're problem solvers, and we figure things out, and we pivot if we need to. And I love how, like, you're like, how can we get art in these kids' hands, And so I want to talk to you a little bit about just what you think it takes to have that mentality of, instead of just being done or giving up or thinking, I got paint parties down in person, now they're not happening, so I'm over this, to no, there's another way. Like, what do you think that takes to have that?
Well, I'm a little bit, I think, driven in a different direction, because mine has never been about making money. This is never, I've got a real full-time job. I teach school. So my thing has always been, there is no art in our county except for in the city system that I work in. We've got a high school art teacher, a middle school art teacher, and a elementary school art teacher. But the surrounding county that I'm in, there is absolutely no art unless one of the arts groups has somebody go in and teach like a little watercolor class every now and then to one grade level. So there's no art. There's no, I mean, and we have so many talented kids here in this, in our community and in our county. And I'm like, there's no art. We've got to do something. So for the last, I guess it's been about 7 or 8 years that I have had my own studio, that I'm just like, okay, we're going to have art. I'm tired at the end of the day, but we're going to have art. So, yeah, I mean, well, and art is not what I teach at school either, which is kind of another thing. Art's just kind of a passion of mine. But art is just so important, especially for kids who have ADD, who have concentration problems, who have other issues that they can't really work out, by talking to somebody. They can create it out, I guess is how I put it. But that's my motivation. So the second that all of this went down, I was like, whether I have the studio or not, I love the studio, but I don't have to have the studio. But these people around me, they need the studio. Mm-hmm. So that, I think that's why, that's what's driven me. And then I'm like, okay, so how am I going to get art into their hands now that they can't come to the studio, and I can't go to the churches, and I can't go do these different things. So I guess that's my mentality is just a little bit different. It's not from the perspective, I do like to make money. That, don't get me wrong, I do like to make money. However, I buy more art supplies. So it's just like
make money to have the coffee habit, the art supply habit.
Art supplies. Yeah. So I mean, I guess that's what has driven me to pivot. I knew I was going to have to pivot. Like the second that everything happened, I'm like, okay, I could sit at home and enjoy the next 6-7 weeks at home doing nothing. But it's not helping anybody. Yeah. So I guess I don't know. I'm a little strange when it comes to stuff like that.
No, I mean, I think everybody's definition of success is different, and everybody's motivation is different. It's totally, I mean, you have to have a strong motivation regardless of what that is. Even people who are driven by money, you've got to have a bigger motivation, because that fades. Like, yes. It doesn't matter. Like, you got to have like my whole passion is sharing God's love through art and how that can help people. And so that's what gets me up every morning and drives me, because I know it heals. I know it heals people.
It does.
It healed me. And like you said, those kids that need that to go to. So I think sometimes there is a bigger conversation around the fact that, some people have a full-time job and they just want to do this as something on the side. And that is totally great. Like, how can you help your community have art in a community where there's no art teachers? And that leads me to the other point. Like, you're not an art teacher and you're teaching art. I'm not certified in art. I've been teaching art for, I taught art in schools for 10 years and got my alternative certification, and I have my communications degree. And I think so many times we go, well, we need to have this certification, or we got to have this to teach somebody how to do a llama like that. No, that's just fun.
That's fun art.
Creating fun art. So can you speak a little bit of that? Like, did you have any of that kind of imposter syndrome, or were you just the teacher at heart and went in full-heartedly?
I think, honestly, I was just made to be a teacher, period. I mean, I remember playing school when I was little. That's the first thing I ever remember about myself, was being the boss and playing school. So, I mean, it's not just art. I mean, it's the craziest thing. My whole circle of everything I've done throughout my career in education, I have been a theater teacher, and I've never taken theater. I was in one play in high school. I had one line. It was Ola. I mean, that was it. So I taught theater, I've taught Spanish, I've taught English. I mean, I've done all of those things. Now I teach English as a second language. So it's kind of crazy. I started out as art. I wanted to go and do something with art, but during the time I was coming through, which was like the early 90s, it's like, what are you going to do with an art degree? I'm like, I'm in Alabama, rural Alabama. What am I going to do with an art degree? So then I thought, okay, I'm going to learn Spanish. And that has paid off. So, but I've been able to keep it all together. So I'm just a teacher. And I think that's what it is. And you just have to have a little bit of confidence and know, you just can't show other people that you're scared about what you're doing. Just go in and just show them what you're doing and they'll listen. But if you go in a little scared, they're not going to trust you to, to teach them. So, but I think I'm just a teacher. That's all it is. I'm just a teacher.
With a big heart doing awesome.
Yeah, that thing gets me in trouble sometimes too.
We have a hard time saying no.
Oh gosh, that is my biggest thing right there.
That's a whole nother topic. Remember, you have to be able to say no.
Yeah, I've got to learn that.
Yeah, I learned that a few years ago, and I'm very thankful I finally learned it. But I was that person that I did not know that word for a long time. And then finally I was like, wait a minute, I can't do all of this. Like, I can't do everything. So
and that's it right there. That's it. Once you figure that part out, then life gets a whole lot easier.
It's okay to say no, people. It's okay. So go ahead and tell us, what do you see? Again, we're going to have a new normal. How do you see your paint parties, your art kits, your potentially online virtual? How do you see your new normal happening here in the next month or so?
In the next month or so, I'm going to start doing the virtual paint parties. I'm going to give it a try. We'll see how it goes. If that doesn't work, we'll try something else. I'm going to continue with the kits. And those are pretty good. I do want to start some type of subscription art box of some sort, but I haven't quite nailed that down. So I've got a lot of different ideas, but everybody likes to get little surprise mail, fun mail, things like that. So I'm thinking, if we're going to be like this, that's one way to reach out and just like send a little bit of love to somebody else, I think. I don't know. I've got lots of ideas, so I've just got to get them pinpointed and narrowed in. But I'm just going to have to continue to pivot. Yeah. That's all there is.
Yeah, I think that's the exciting part about this is so many people who are now almost forced to see the potential of online, to see the potential of, oh my gosh, there is still a way to teach paint parties, to share the love of art, to share the love of crafts or whatever you do in a different way, and it could potentially be bigger than you ever imagined before. So I think that's awesome. I'm excited for you. Is there anything, Ginny, that you could maybe speak to the person who's brand new to teaching paint parties and they're like, man, I was just about to do this and now life has changed. Like, my dream is over. Can you speak to them about how it's not over? There's still paint parties in our future.
As long as you're still breathing, it's not over. We've got, you just have to find a different way to do it. If you were just getting started and you haven't done your first real paint party somewhere, sit your family down, do your paint party with your family. Your neighbors, people that are close to you, sit them 6 foot apart so they have that social distancing happening. But practice with people. And start there. And one of my biggest things that I'm having to work through right now are doing lives. They're so terrifying, and I've been doing this for a long time. I can stand up in front of a group of people and talk to anybody that I don't know. But and it's like, now I've got this. So for those people that are kind of just, they feel deflated, don't give up, keep doing it. Because to me, this is the biggest joy spreader there is. And that's what we need more in this world than anything else right now is joy. We need hope, joy, faith. We need all of those things. So I think that just don't give up. Just think about it. Talk to some people. Now, the trick about talking to people is don't talk to Don't talk to people you know you don't need to talk to. You know, get on Facebook in your groups, in the people that are supporting you, because a lot of times your family doesn't support you like they're supposed to, or your children, or because like I've got 3 boys and not one of them could care a thing in the world about an art studio. Not one. And I'm like, so they're like, Mom, why are you still doing that? I'm like, because I love it. Go away. You know, that's why I'm doing it. So you got to choose who you talk to wisely. But if you get discouraged, just talk to somebody.
Oh my gosh, that is such wise words, because here's the thing, you know, a lot of our family, because it's not the normal way to make money, they don't understand it. And because like I could sit here and paint llamas all day long and be in heaven, like literally like have some music going, painting my llamas, watching a Hallmark movie, and like that is life. Like it is finest to me, right? You know, like I just
Yes,
want that.
yes.
You talk to somebody next to you and they're like, what the heck is wrong with her? Like, why would that even be a thing? You know, like, why would she do that or want to do that? So everybody has their own hobbies, just like, you know, your sons may love fishing or something like that, where I would
Mm-hmm.
rather sit, I don't know, I'd rather do anything than sit there and fish. Like, that is not what I would want to do. And so I think it is so true to find people. And then also, you know, I've mentioned this before, and you can probably agree to this too, Jenny, is not sharing all of our dreams with just anybody,
Right.
like protecting that, because we can have, just like when you're creating an art piece, like you can have this awesome vision for it. But if somebody comes in and poops on it and says their negative Nellies about it before
Yes.
we've ever even finished it, it puts this damper on it. And I know I've had that in the past with dreams, where I'm like, I've got this huge vision and I know God's leading me, and then I share it with somebody who doesn't have any confidence or maybe has failed in the past, and then all of a sudden they've like made me doubt, wait, maybe who am I to do
Yeah.
that? Do you ever find that to be true?
Oh, I couldn't even tell you how many times that is true. That is so true. You've got to find, I call them your personal cheerleaders. You've got to find people who think you are just the most awesome thing in the whole world and everything you do is gold. And, but, you know, and sometimes those people will also be the ones that be like, you need to rethink that. But at least they're always there to cheer you on. You know, you've got to have those people in your life. And yeah, because it will come, the ones that will kill your dreams the quickest are the ones that love you the most. And and they're just trying to help you. You know, that's what they're just trying. And it's like, I really wanted to do that, or I really thought that would be cool. And they're like, why would you do that? So yeah, you just got to be very careful with who you trust your heart with and who you trust your dreams with. Very
Yeah,
careful.
and it's, I found that, you know, and like you said, it's the ones that are the closest that can hurt the most,
Yes.
because we value their opinions so much. And I think too, it's so true that a lot of times it's their insecurities coming out, that something they failed at, something that they weren't good at, you know, that they're like, well, how do you think you could do that? You know, it's a lot of
Right.
things that are internal with them. So you have to remember, you know, and that was a lesson I learned, you know, several years ago. And I was like, oh my gosh, now that I know it and I know who I can share what with, it makes life so much easier.
Yes, it does. Yes, and it helps your confidence a whole lot.
And you can be free to go do the dreams you want to do without always having somebody in your ear talking you out of it. So
That's right.
that's really good. All right. Well, it's been such a pleasure. Any final thoughts you want to leave with somebody who's watching that is really excited about this? What would be their next step?
Just hang in there and just, you know, keep getting with the people that bring out the best in you. Even, you know, through the phone, through Zoom, through whatever, FaceTime. And just keep moving forward, keep progressing. Don't stop. Just don't stop. Continue on.
Yeah, that's great. It's just one step at a time. Sometimes when we look at the big picture, it's so overwhelming and it just
Just
makes
baby
you want to go
steps.
take a nap.
Yes, like I'm over today. I'm going to bed.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. There's things in my life where I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't take it all. And then you just do one thing at a time. Then all of
Yeah.
a sudden you look back on the last month and you're like, wow, I did all of that. You know, just like 300 kits in a few days that you sold. That was insane. So I'm so
Yes.
excited for you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, well, thanks so much for being here. And guys, if you want to just leave in the comments something that you took away from Ginny's interview, let us know what your next steps are going to be. Let us know what one thing you're going to do to move forward this week. It doesn't have to be anything major. It can be literally like, I'm going to do a Facebook post, or I'm going to, start a Facebook business page, or I'm just going to, do something small. It doesn't have to be big. So let us know in the comments. And until next time, follow Ginny on Facebook, and you need to go to Art and Soul, which we have that in common.
I know.
I
Great
love
minds
it.
think alike.
Great minds think alike. Art and Soul Jasper. Is it Art Soul Jasper, right? On
Art
Instagram?
Soul Jasper.
Okay, so if you go to Facebook, Art and Soul Studio, Art Soul Jasper, and then Instagram is
My Art and Soul Studio.
Okay, My Art and Soul Studio. So make sure you go show her some love, show her some love, give her some likes and follows, and then if you ever need a paint kit, you know where to go.
That's right. Hit me up.
All right, guys, y'all have a great day, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye.
All right. Bye.